Okay, so we're going to talk about chord inversions. If you haven't heard of chord inversions, essentially what you're doing is you're playing the exact same notes in the original chord, but you're rearranging them so that one of the other notes is going to be played on the lower strings. Now that's a lot to say. Let's think about this for a minute. If we look at the G major scale, and we pick our dominant 7 chord, we have a G, an F, a B, and then a D. So we have G, F, B, and then a D. Those are the 4 notes that we're going to work with to build our inversions. If I take the first pattern where my root is going to be located on the lowest string, so that's G, and I build my chord, I have a G7 dominant. Now if I go to the 3rd note in the G major scale, which is a B, and I build my chord pattern from that to form a G7 dominant, I'm going to have this sound, which has the exact same notes as the previous pattern. So I'm going to have my 3rd, my root, my 5th, my flat 7th. If I continue with this idea of picking each note that is in the original form, which goes back to the G major scale, there's the 5th, which is a D. So I'm going to find the D, and I'm going to form a G7 dominant with the 5th as the lowest note. And that's going to be spelled out with a D, a B, an F, and finally the root, G. If I carry that idea once more, I'm going to have the flat 7th as the lowest note on the E string. And that's going to be my F. So I'll build the final chord inversion starting on the flat 7, which is F, D, the root G, and finally B, which was the 3rd. You can take this idea and apply it to adding an octave. Whereas the last pattern we played was the G7 dominant chord with the flat 7 on the lowest E string. We have an octave. Oops. There we go. So we can play the shape like this. Hopefully that gives you an idea and a starting point for playing around with chord inversions. What you should do is you should learn these in all 12 keys and then apply them to a 1-4-5 progression or a 2-5-1 progression. And keep things real simple, take things step by step. First learn one chord at a time and then learn each of their inversions. Then learn the inversion for the top half of the guitar. For example, the G dominant 7 with the 5th, G dominant 7 with the flat 7 on the top. And there's the 3rd, which is the same as inversions. So practice in all 12 keys, and I'm going to come back with another video to show you the increments of playing one chord, then adding another chord, and playing into a progression where you only have two chords. You might play the 1, and you might play the 4, such as, you know. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, shoot me an email or shoot me a comment and I'll get back to you when I can. All right, thanks.